Hey, what's up? It's Spaz the Magician, and welcome to part 3 of why people don't understand why they can't learn how to count cards in blackjack from watching videos, reading books, going on forums, things like that. In the first video, I went over and showed you how confusing the basics were. In the second video, I actually showed you why the counting system itself is so confusing. In this video, I'm actually going to show you there's a major flaw in the counting system which causes an even bigger mess. So let me get to this. So the first thing you're going to ask yourself is, how the hell can there be a major flaw in this counting system if everybody's using it? Let me explain. As you all know, I'll be using assigning values to get this explanation out, and I'll show you arriving at numbers. Now, I will be using the number 2 as an example, so you can follow along with this easier. So first things first, the assigned values for the 2s through 6s is a +1. The assigned values for all the 7s through 9s are 0. And all of the 10s through kings have an assigned value of +1. Now, in my previous video, I explained about what the confusion is with the term assigning value. So go watch that if you don't know what I'm talking about, because I'm going to go into a little bit. I'm going to drag some of that information in this, so you may not be able to follow this, but it's in my previous video. So I will be using the number 2 as an example. So let's say this was dealt in your hand. The system is set up so it explains to you how to get a number. That's perfectly fine. In this particular case, using the questionable method of this is a +1 with another +1, even though it's only 1, we'll just say for sake of conversation, it's 2, because that's what I'm going to use. To arrive at 2, the system says 2 cards that have been assigned a value of +1 have shown up. Okay, that's fine. Now I'm going to point out where the major flaw in this system is. How you used a system to arrive at a number. That's fine. The problem is there's no representation to what that number you arrived at actually is. So the system tells you how to get 2. The system doesn't now tell you what that 2 is or what you are supposed to be doing with the 2 once you arrive at it. So, unless a noun is put to the number 2, when anybody says it's +2, you have no way to do anything with that information because the 2 itself has no representation of what it actually is. And every time I've asked this question, what to what? Well, somebody's like, well, you have +2. +2 what? So let me give you a breakdown of what I'm talking about. I am going to assign the number 2 the word banana. Now, the only way for me to get banana is to convert the number 2 into banana. But in order to do that, I have to get the number 2. So in this particular case, I eventually arrive at a way to get 2. Once I arrive at a way to get 2, this no longer applies. It is a now done deal. I have the number 2. That's what's relevant at this point. I am now taking the number 2 and I'm converting it to the word banana. Now, having that word, now that 2 is gone. I only have banana. That's the only thing in existence now. The problem with this is, for people to say that 2 helps you out to know whether there's a lot more high or low cards in the deck is complete bullshit, because I have the word banana. The word banana is not going to tell me or help me in any way, shape, or form because it's unrelated to cards. The only reason I have banana is because I was left with no choice but to apply something to the number 2 that nobody ever wants to apply. when I've asked, what is the 2? The only thing that people keep saying is, it's plus 2. It's plus 2. These tell you how to get the 2. They don't tell you what the 2 itself is. So there's no possible way, even if you had an overabundance of 2s, that you could do anything with that number that helps you here, because the 2 has no representation, first of all. And second of all, it doesn't tell you how to take the 2 and actually apply it here. So in this particular case, let's say I have 3 bananas. Bananas are unrelated to the cards. I can keep getting banana, 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 banana. It's not going to help you, because there's no correlation to what the number is. And since nobody explains what the number 2 is and what to get it, nobody's going to tell me. They can basically say, well, there's more or less more high cards than low cards, and bet when it's high or low. Unless you dictate what the number 2 itself is, that is a complete bullshit setup. The flaw in this is that there's not only no representation for the number 2, but there's no explanation of what you do with the represented number once you have it. Once you have it, it's just hanging there doing nothing. It's like having a banana sitting there. You can have as many bananas as you want, but unless I explain to you how to take these bananas and they apply here, it's a useless number that does absolutely nothing. So I just wanted to get part 3 out of the way to show you how stupid these people are when they're talking about the counting system. I've actually got into arguments when I tell people what is the 2 and what are you doing with it, and all they keep telling me is how to arrive at the 2. You assign the values, you plus 2 minus 2. Once you get the 2, what is the 2? And secondly, once you know what the 2 is, how do you use that to apply it to the rest of it? Because there's 3 separate processes here. Everybody's only combining into one thing. That's it. So I just wanted to get part 3 out of the way. There may or may not be a part 4, but I'm just making these as they come up. Either way, Spaz the Magician signing out. Have a good one.